Hey folks, Mr. Phil here with you. Have you ever wanted to get into the business of making hot sauce for your own enjoyment or maybe for your friends and family but don't know where to start? If that's the case, today I got something for you. I'm going to show you how to make your first hot sauce using ingredients you probably have in your kitchen cabinet or that you can easily pick up at your local grocery store. This is going to be a simple but delicious hot sauce that you can add your character to it. You don't have to worry about fermenting, chopping up peppers, or any of that other complicated stuff. Very, very simple. We make it and we bottle it. So, if that's you and you want to learn how to do this, let's head over to the kitchen. Hey folks, this is Phil from Alabama Hot Sauce. That's alabamahotsauce.com on the web. I'm in the commercial kitchen today. We're going to do something fun. I spent most of the morning blending sauces for sale. And I thought I would respond to what is a fairly constant email refrain from people. They always ask things like, I'm brand new at making hot sauce. Is there a simple way to make it? What's the best way to start? Can I make it out of dried peppers? All kinds of questions. And I thought I would come in here and show you, if you're making your first hot sauce or if you're making your 1,000th bottle of hot sauce, how you can make hot sauce out of completely dried pepper powders. Now, there's all kinds of hot sauces you can make. You can make them out of fermented peppers. You can make them out of fresh peppers. You can make them out of pickled peppers. You can make them out of whole dried peppers. And you can make them out of powdered peppers. Dehydrated and powdered peppers. Now, all of those types of sauce have different characteristics, but there's room for all of them. And if you're brand new, maybe the way to start would be to start with making sauce out of powdered peppers. Now, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how easy it is to make hot sauce out of powdered peppers. And I'm going to be using peppers that I sell here at Alabama Hot Sauce. One is red jalapeno peppers, which is a wonderful seller for us. People love it. The other is African bird's eye peppers. That's also a wonderful pepper. It's a little bit hot. I've also got some green jalapeno pepper. And both of these jalapeno peppers, by the way, are the variety known as Biker Billy. The green one is harvested obviously before the pepper turns green. The red one's harvested after completely matured. So what I've got here is I have my, as the French would say, mise en place all set up. I'm going to be using roughly 2 tablespoons of African bird's eye pepper. I'm going to be using a couple of tablespoons of red jalapeno pepper. I'm going to be using about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Half a teaspoon of onion powder. I've got about a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper. I have some ground garlic. And then I have coarse salt. Now, I'm not going to decide how much of this to put in there yet. That's going to come toward the end when we taste it. Now, for liquids, I'm going to use 2 liquids for this sauce. I'm going to use about a cup of white distilled vinegar. And then I'm going to use about 3/4 of a cup or close to a cup vegetable broth that I make right here in the kitchen, okay? Now, this vegetable broth is very, very lightly salted only because I store it. And typically, instead of using water, if I need a neutral liquid to put in a hot sauce, I typically use vegetable broth. It gives it a little extra taste. It has some character to it. It's not flat like water, so I'm going to use vegetable broth today. Now, what I've got here is I've got my pan, and it's sitting on an induction burner. And first, I'm going to put in my African bird's eye peppers. The next thing we're going to put in is the jalapeno peppers. Now, I'm also going to put in, well, get this right here, my garlic powder. I'm putting in my onion powder. I'm putting in my black pepper. I'm putting about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cumin, which is a flavor I like. And I'm going to sprinkle just a very little bit of salt in here. Probably 1/4 of a teaspoon, maybe. Now, to get this going, the first thing I'm going to put in is I'm going to pour in my vegetable broth. And then I'm going to pour in my vinegar. Now, I want you to keep in mind, you could use any type of pepper powder you chose. If you want it really, really, really mild, you could just use grocery store type chili pepper. You could use habanero pepper if you wanted something really hot. You can put anything you want in. In addition to that, you can also put in whatever spices you like. If you really like oregano, you can put some oregano in here. If you really like anything you can think of. And you can put it in either fresh and chopped up, or you can put it in powdered. So we stir this all up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the temperature up on this thing here. Turn the power on. And I'm going to bring this temperature up to about 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this sauce to a boil. And once we get it to a boil, we're going to cover it. And then I'm going to let it simmer for 10 or 15 minutes. Now, there will be people that try to tell you that sauces made out of purely powdered peppers are not real hot sauces. That's far from the truth. Sauces made out of powdered pepper are what you get always in Mexican restaurants. That's typically the way they do it. In addition to that, there are a couple of major hot sauce manufacturers. I'm talking about people in the top 10 in the world who use nothing but pepper powder to make their sauces. So don't let anyone tell you that because this doesn't have fermented pepper in it or fresh pepper or whatever else they think it's missing, that this is not real hot sauce. This stuff is delicious. I have done this before. I make it sometimes at home. And I can promise you that you're going to find this to be a really, really good tasting hot sauce. Now, the character of it, the mouthfeel of it's going to be a little different because peppered powder hot sauces remain just a little bit grainy, I guess is the word. They don't get slick like sauces that we blend down seriously from fresh peppers and work hard to make them really smooth. But this makes a perfect table sauce. I promise you, once you try either this recipe or some other recipe, there are lots of them available. You can get them on Google. You can find them on YouTube. All kinds of recipes for pepper with powder. But once you find the one you like, It'll make a perfect tabletop sauce and probably will be perfect on just about anything you put it on. So this makes a great, great table sauce. Now I'm continuing to stir. The heat's coming up here pretty good. We should have, it should be boiling here in just a minute. There we go. We got it out of boil now. We're going to mix it a little bit. Now, I'm going to cover this pot and I'm going to bring the heat down to the lowest it'll go, okay? And I'm just going to simmer this sauce for about 15 or 20 minutes. On occasion, I'll take the lid off and stir it, make sure everything's good. And there we go. Folks, what I'll do is I'll come back to you after this is simmered for a few minutes. And I'll show you what we got. We'll do a little taste test. I'll be right back. All right, folks, this is Mr. Phil. I'm back with you. I've been simmering this sauce for about 25 minutes. It smells wonderful. So I'm going to turn off the power. And we're going to take a little sample of this stuff. It looks wonderful. Oh, it smells great. It looks wonderful. Let's cool it off here a little bit. I anticipate this sauce is going to be somewhat hot. African bird's eye peppers are a pretty spicy sort, so I think this is going to have a little bit of fire to it. Let's see. Wow. That is hot. I get the onion, I get the garlic, I get the cumin. The vegetable broth makes a gigantic difference, I have to tell you. The vegetable broth, way better than supplementing your vinegar with water. I want to point out to you, you can put anything in this. You can cut up some chunks of pineapple and put it in there if you like. You can do most anything. Now, I'd also like to tell you, if you're going to do much with making hot sauce, I think it's a great idea to get you a pH meter. While I'm pretty certain that the pH on this is going to be absolutely fine, my meter's been calibrated, and my meter's been calibrated, and I'm going to come in here and we're going to check that pH. This has a pH of 3.56, which is absolutely wonderful. We certainly want to be below 3.8 if we can. 3.56 is great. That's very typical of hot sauces. Now we're going to fill it up, but let's talk a little bit about filling the bottles. If you're going to make this, put it in your refrigerator, use it for your own meals. After you're boiling, you can let it completely cool down. You can put it in the bottle cold and refrigerate it, and it'll be perfectly fine. Now, if you want it to be shelf stable, or you want to be able to give it to friends and family and know that they're safe, I want you to pay close attention to your ethical responsibility as a sauce maker, even on your very first bottle, and do everything you can to make sure that this particular hot sauce is safe. Now, the best way to do that is with a low pH, and we have that, a little over 3.5, and Bring the sauce up to nearly boiling, about 195, 200 degrees, and fill your bottle while that sauce is hot. And what that actually does is you're using your hot sauce as a means of sanitizing your bottle. So, there we go. Now, to make sure this bottle is fully sanitized, what we're going to do is we're going to cap it and we're going to turn it upside down. The principle here, this is called hot flip and hold. The principle here is that the hot sauce in and of itself will sanitize the bottle. By turning it upside down, you're making sure hot sauce gets to the neck and to the cap and to the fitment. You have to hold it here at least 180 degrees, which this is easily 180 degrees. You have to hold it here for at least 6 to 10 seconds. 6 seconds is the actual amount, but I typically hold them for 10 or 15 seconds. And that guarantees sanitation of this bottle. Now, as this bottle cools down, that fill level is going to fall just a little bit because the pepper is going to condense as it gets colder. But this is how you can very simply make hot sauce right in your kitchen, all with ingredients that you can order from Alabama Hot Sauce, or you may have them in your cabinet, or you can buy them at your local grocery store. You can use any kind of pepper powder. You can use any kind of liquid, as long as you're acidifying it with substantial amount of vinegar. I say at least 50% of all your liquid should be vinegar. And that guarantees a low pH. Then I really would suggest to you that you fill it hot, turn it upside down, and this bottle becomes a aseptically packaged hot sauce. You can set it in your kitchen cabinet probably for 2 years without any problem whatsoever. Anyway, folks, if you're making your first bottle, here's the way to do it. You can make it with purely powdered ingredients. I want to thank you for joining me on this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'd like to hear your comments if you have any questions. I encourage you to go make a hot sauce. Making hot sauces at home and making hot sauces commercially in small producers like myself has become the rage in the last 5 to 8 years. So don't be afraid of this. You can easily make your own hot sauce. You can play with the recipe until you get the one that you like. In addition to that, you can move from using powdered peppers to maybe cutting up and dicing and blending fresh peppers. Your journey to make hot sauce begins by making the first bottle, and that's what we have here. Folks, thank you very much for watching this little video. Hope you learned something. Hope you think it was important. I certainly enjoyed making it. I'd appreciate it while you're here, if you don't mind, to subscribe to my website. Give me a thumbs up and ring that bell so YouTube can notify you each time I produce a new video. Again, thank you very much. I'd like to suggest that you look up on the screen now and see the couple of video suggestions I've made for you. In addition to that, there's a logo up there you can push, which will allow you to subscribe to my channel. So view those videos, subscribe to my channel. Hope you enjoy it. I'll see you next time.